Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson's You're Missing, available on Amazon, paperback and ebook. Coming soon, Missing 2, double the suspense, double the fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, including 30 exquisite paintings, King David's Psalms, and his times as a shepherd memoir, Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. And also brought to you by Sensei Swing, Eric Diamond with his latest All of Me. New music coming soon, ericdiamondmusic.com. Follow on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and more. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's an author, educated at Vassar College and Georgia State University, living in Atlanta. He graduated summa cum laude with a bachelor's in religious studies and creative writing. He received the Gilman Scholarship to study literature in Budapest in 2003, with works published in a number of publications. He has a new book about a tormented magician living in current times, remaining deeply traumatized from childhood sexual abuse, but with the power to levitate. We'll find more about that in the book Panic Magic. Live, ladies and gentlemen, plus dudes in beautiful downtown Atlanta, the amazing author, educated from Vassar College and Georgia State University. The book is called Panic Magic, the multi-talented Clint Sabom. Clint, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good evening. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm grateful for being on here to
What's
talk
great to
about
ha-
my book.
Well, it's great to have you on board, Clint. So you're an author. You're educated at Vassar College and Georgia State University. You live in Atlanta. You graduated summa cum laude with a bachelor's in religious studies and creative writing. You received the Gilman Scholarship to study literature in Budapest in 2003. With your works got published in various publications. You also have a new book about a tormented magician living in current times, remaining deeply traumatized from childhood sexual abuse. But you also have the power to levitate at large venues and asking audience members to prove levitation, and goes into various visions and also magical battles and also traveling through other dimensions and more. The book is called Panic Magic. Before getting all that, Clint, tell us how you first got started.
How the book first got
No, no,
started?
no. How'd you first get started? Way back machine, Sherman. Way back machine.
Well, I think I first got started in my writing journey, writing poems in high school. And well, no, let's go back further than that. As early as 7 and 8 years old, I was writing short stories, and I had elementary school teachers telling me that I should become a writer. So I've been encouraged with it all of my life. But once it kind of hit my adult life in my 20s, I felt poetry coming on a lot and hadn't quite found my fiction voice. And obviously, poetry doesn't really sell unless you're a creative writing professor of poetry somewhere. So it's been only recently that I've found my fiction voice, and that's with Panic Magic. And it took me a while to find that voice and to be able to come up with fiction and urban fantasy or magical realism, whichever of those two you want to put this book in. It seems like a good genre for me. Very spiritual, always have been, not confined to any one particular tradition, but generally I consider myself a mystic and into all different forms of spirituality. And so incorporating that into a fictional novel was really fun. And Panic Magic basically just flowed out of me very quickly. It was last summer, basically, in the summer of 2024. And the book really flowed out of me very well. One of the inspirations I drew on was the founder of Surrealism, Andre Breton, and reading some of his books was an inspiration for some of the stream of consciousness I get into Panic Magic. That being said, Panic Magic is a linear story, and it includes relationships, character building, all sorts of things that you just mentioned. And so, but it seemed like what I was called to do. And luckily, I had enough free time last summer to write it. So, and I was pleased to get it published by a publishing company. I didn't have to self-publish. Star Wars Publishing published it. So that's been very good and certainly a boost, and will certainly help me get publishing companies and or agents in for my next book, for example. So
Okay.
I hope that gives you some sort of an overview that you were asking
Hmm.
for.
And I think you got some great stuff. We'll talk more about Panic Magic, but besides, being at 7 and you're told by teachers, your writing is fantastic. What was that one other precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career? In other words, a light bulb moment says, "This is it."
I'm not really sure. It came on me just kind of all of a sudden. I'm very influenced. I know that I'm very influenced by the Czech Hermeticist Franz Barden, who came up, he was kind of an esoteric Christian, and he came up with a system of magic in a book called Initiation into Hermetics. And he has other books too, but the series seems to start in Initiation into Hermetics. And I also have a coaching business, coaching people through that book, because his books have taken off in recent years, especially with, YouTube and podcast going forward. So I was very influenced by that, and also by my own imagination, and also by a lot of books I've read. So, um, it was a combination of different things, but the short answer is I'm not really sure. I just got lucky.
Hmm.
It just
Well,
came.
well, I'm sure luck doesn't play into it. It's like something spiritual might have happened too. But you talked about reading a number of books. What are some of your favorite books growing up?
Well, I really liked the author Herman Hesse and his book Siddhartha. That was a really good book that got me into Eastern mysticism. And I like his classical work that he won. I think he won the Pulitzer or the Nobel Prize for the glass bead game. So he was very much an influence. Clive Barker, the horror fantasy writer who, has elements of horror and elements of fantasy, uh, was very helpful in some of my fiction writing and getting the kind of flow down, kind of finding my voice. So that has
Okay.
also been helpful.
Hmm. And you mentioned Herman Hesse, or is it Hesse? Is he the one who wrote Moby Dick, or I got the, or did he write a similar book? The name sounds familiar.
Moby Dick itself by Herman Melville.
That was it. I got that crossed up. I'm sorry, I got that crossed up.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to comment on Moby Dick, and I was going to say I didn't like that book very much.
Oh, no problem. I just had to clarify. That's all. So my apologies on that one. And who are some other favorite authors and books growing up?
Well, as a young child, I really liked the Chronicles of Narnia, which
C.S.
is a
Lewis, he's
picture
amazing.
book. Yes, yes. And I really liked Madeline L'Engle's three series that began with A Wrinkle in Time. So those were influences in childhood. But I've read so many books since then. I think I read Neil Gaiman, Salman Rushdie, different authors that deal with magic and fantasy stuff that have helped me. But I mean, in my 20s, I was writing mainly poetry and reading a lot of poetry books. And I really like the poet Walt Whitman and Leaves of Grass. I think that's just a classic. I really like the visionary aspect of the poet William Blake. And, you know, it's a lot. I've read so many books, I lose track of them.
I know what you mean, or have a library as well. But you got your own. We'll put in the libraries one day with Panic Management. We'll get to back with Clint Sabom. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios. Visit online at SoundCloudStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800 303 3960. It's 1-800 303 3960 or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, International Warring Author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon, a paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Take place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has got great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today, for It Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Coming soon, Missing 2 by Mia Molson-Zia, double dispense, double fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, including 30 exquisite paintings and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives a new perspective of David through the Psalms he wrote and his time as a shepherd where it started. And complicated yet turbulent relationship with King Saul. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, hope, and more. Check out The Sweet Psalmist by Amazon. By Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also brought to you by Sensei Swing. Eric Diamond is released All of Me, featuring the title track I've Got a Heartache, Bring Me Sunshine and More. Eric's a multi-award winning artist, including album and entertainer of the year. New music coming soon. EricDiamondMusic.com. Follow on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. 40 podcast platforms, heard in 100 countries. Take us with you on any mobile device. Follow us on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart, Anchor FM, YouTube. And don't forget BitChute, Rumble, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and more. And for great gift ideas like t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. Don't forget the keywords. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Great books, merchandise, and more. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. With the amazing multi-talented Clint Sabom of Panic Magic here on the Mike Wagner Show. And Clint, before you get to more of your book, Panic Magic, you received the Gilman Scholarship to study literature in Budapest in 2003. And tell us about your journey and how you got the scholarship and your ventures in Budapest.
Well, I had to take off from Vassar College because it got too expensive, and I moved to Atlanta, and I decided to stay in Atlanta and just attend a local university, Georgia State University, and I always wanted to make the promise to myself to study abroad. So study abroad opportunities came up through the study abroad office at Georgia State. And there was a Gilman scholarship that was available, and I applied and I got it along with 9 other people. So the time I spent in Budapest was some of the best days of my life, really. I really enjoyed being there. It's a beautiful, immaculate city.
You also had a number of works in various publications. Some more about that.
Well, I've just sent in and gotten stuff published. I probably have more publishing credits than I even put in my bio. With different literary journals. but most of my publications are poetry. And so, I had those to go on. And yeah, so, publishing can be very difficult. And, sometimes it's hard to break through. So I'm grateful to score what I have scored.
Hmm. And plus, you also, got your own mark called Panic Magic, and of course, as we mentioned, it's about a tormented magician living in current times and deeply traumatized through sexual abuse and everything like that. And I think you've covered some of the book as well too. That I forgot to ask you a question. How did you first get involved with magic and basically the just the appeal of magicians and everything else?
Oh, I think it's all kind of happened since I was about 21. In 1997, I had a strong spiritual awakening. So I started looking into different forms of spirituality back then. So it's kind of been ongoing throughout my adult life. I lived in a silent monastery for 6 months.
Oh wow.
And, I seriously considered becoming a monk. And, there's sometimes I regret that decision, not becoming a monk. It was very much a good way of life. It had a certain solitude and silence about it that I really liked. But at the same time, being in the world hasn't worked out so bad. So I've been pursuing my spiritual journey for a long time. And
Hmm.
I've always been open to different traditions. And sometimes I've practiced more with meditation exercises, but with panic magic, I kind of just use the knowledge I already had in some of the life experiences that I've already had and some of the life experiences with my coaching clients to come up with basically an urban fantasy book.
Hmm. That's really interesting. And how did you first get involved with life coaching?
With the literature?
No, life coaching.
Okay. Well, I always thought that I liked the idea of working for myself. And, I had a YouTube channel, and believe it or not, the videos I did on magic got a lot more views and hits than other things have
Oh
done.
wow.
And so I decided to go with that. And, just like a therapist in private practice, it can either be feast or famine. So, yeah, I help clients with spiritual issues. I also help them sometimes with mental health issues. It's really up to the individual client what they want to work on. And I do have a website, clintsabom.com, clintsabom.com, and you can find out everything. You can get a link to the book, also a link to my online classes, also a link to contact me. And that's my website, just my name, Clintsabom.com.
Hmm. And of course, more in the book of Panic Matches as well, too. That the magician in there, Troy Abraham, is constantly asking for checking on levitations and everything like that. Most magicians that I've watched on TV seem to never ask about that. So what makes the difference that that this guy in there, Troy, is asking for people to make sure that he's able to prove levitation, as well? Most simply say, "Hey, this is what we do: levitate."
Oh, I think there's a huge difference. The book Panic Magic deals with a character that actually has supernatural abilities. I think the so-called magicians that stage those kinds of tricks and stage shows or videos are more like just illusionists. So I don't think it's real, necessarily magical powers involving it. It's more sleight of hand and tricks. And I know it can get really popular with the general public, but I certainly do not believe that any of them are practicing true magic. I think a lot of it is just tricks. So, yeah, there's a huge difference between magic. Sometimes it's even spelled with a CK at the end.
Right. I am familiar with that. And I think that kind of goes into a different realm as well. We'll probably discuss that in another topic and such. But of course, having like mysterious monologues between levitations and realistic visions, and of course, some can have be life threatening, like intense battles as well. Magicians against other magicians, spirit guides, and everything else. And of course, you got your enemies that be coming at. So it's really no magic act whatsoever.
Right, right. And it's a thriller. It kind of keeps you hooked. It moves along, I must say. And the feedback I've gotten from it is so far is excellent. People love it.
Hmm. And plus, you also got the intel as well too, gathering the intelligence, and also most notably going through time portals as well. And tell us more about that as well too. That's fascinating.
The testing?
No, 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 the time portals. It's just like you talked about in the book as well. Going through traveling to other dimensions. We call it time portals, and maybe some of the dimensions that he's encountered.
Oh, so it's really what I would consider what most people often talk about in terms of astral travel and astral projection. So it's going into other dimensions that are there, often into a higher level of consciousness. And one dimension he goes into is basically based on uh, the Greek underworld,
Oh
but
wow.
it's a benevolent thing. It's not a dark and malicious underworld, but it's an underworld that helps the main character, Troy, regain a sense of spiritual power that he's lost in some of the magical battles that really knock him down. In some of the magical battles, really knock him down at times, and he's worried about getting heart problems, and he's going to the ER because he's losing the magical battles.
Mm. Would that be considered like a Rivendell type of setting, like in Lord of the Rings, the J.R.R. Tolkien series, or would it be like considered like an Atlantis?
Oh, well, that's a good question because I haven't read either of those.
Okay, because I thought Rivendell that like in J.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, and all that, but that's probably for another time as well too. And I guess the next question is, what do you want people to get from the book?
Oh, I want them to, well, certainly first and foremost, to be entertained and inspired, and also, informative and helpful in an educational way. So it's kind of um, excitement, inspiration, and education. So I tried to kind of combine all of those three elements. So not only do they get an engaging story, there's things to learn from the story as well.
Okay, and what's going to work when you find your book and all your works at, Clint?
Sure. My book is available on Amazon. That's probably the easiest way to find it. You can just type in Panic Magic, Panic, Magic, Magic, and it should come up first. If it doesn't, you can type in Panic Magic Clint Sabom. And you can also just find links to it on my website at clintsabom.com.
We'll certainly check that out. And what's coming up for Clint Sabom with Pant Magic, we'll find out 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson. Museum Missing. Sweet Songs by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David and more. Keyword Sweet Songs Serena Wagner. Check on Amazon. Also, the Sensei Swing, Eric Diamond with All of Me. New music coming soon. EricDiamondMusic.com. We'll be back with multi-talented author Clint Sabom of Panic Magic after this timeout. We're back with author Clint Sabom of Panic Magic here on the Mike Wagner Show. And just a few more things, Clint. What else can we expect in 2025 and beyond?
Well, it's like Panic Magic has set me off an inspiration. So I'm working on a new book right now, and that has been very engaging. It would also go under the category of urban fantasy, I believe. And so I'm working on a new book right now. I don't think it's going to be out in 2025, but maybe in 2026 it will. And in the meantime, I'm doing my spiritual coaching, and you can find my YouTube page. I have a YouTube page with about 2.2K subscribers.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's just under my name, Clint Sabom. So you can easily find me on YouTube and watch some of my videos about magic, and hope that helps you. Even if you don't consider yourself interested into magic, I would kind of consider my videos self-help for all spiritual practitioners, regardless of what they subscribe to or not.
Okay, well, certainly check that out as well, too. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say, you mean, well, I would say Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass really got to me, and it got to me at a young age and was very inspiring. Even though it's poetry and we're talking about a fiction book, Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass really very much got me. And so that was a very early inspiration.
Okay. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Advice for who?
What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point? Anything in general?
Oh, my best advice is to keep going and take things one day at a time. And if you're a writer and love to write, I would say the biggest suggestion I have is to just write and give yourself to write imperfectly. I don't think you can write well until you give yourself permission to write imperfectly. And remember, if it's your first draft of anything, just get it all down. You can always edit and rearrange later.
Okay. I think that's great advice as well, too. We're here with the multi-talented Clint Sabom, a Panic Manager here on the Mike Wagner Show. Clint, a very big thank you time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having you soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Glad to have you back. And what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
Sounds good. ClintSabom.com. And so happy to be here with you, Mike.
Well, it's great to have you on board, too. Clint, a very big thank you time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best. And Clint, you definitely have a great future ahead.
Sounds good. Many blessings.